quick Take Aptinyx (APTX) intends to sell 5.33 million shares of common stock at a midpoint price of $15 per share for gross proceeds of approximately $80 million, according to an amended registration statement. The company is advancing a promising pipeline of small molecule treatment candidates for brain and central nervous system pain and disorders. With its current cash and the expected IPO proceeds, APTX will have approximately $150 million in resources available to advance its pipeline through additional milestones, which, if positive, will be significant potential catalysts for the stock. As to valuation, the IPO is valued at the high end of the typical range of $250 million–$450 million in proposed market capitalization, so it isn't cheap. Given continued investor support for the IPO, a reasonably short period to the next major stock price catalysts, a favorable outlook for pain treatment market growth due to aging population demographics, the IPO has promise. Company NMDARs are essential to the effective function of the brain and nervous system. Management is headed by CEO and President Norbert Riedel, who has been with the firm since 2014. Prior to Aptinyx, Riedel was the president and CEO of Norux from 2012 to 2014. Riedel also served in various positions at Baxter International. Aptinyx is developing products for the treatment of brain and nervous system disorders. The company has created a platform for discovering compounds that work through modulation of NMDA receptors to enhance communication between neural cells. Investors in Aptinyx include Adams Street Partners, Longitude Venture Partners, Bain Capital Life Sciences, Fraser Life Sciences and New Leaf Venture Partners. The company's first product candidate, NX-2925, is currently being studied for the treatment of diabetic peripheral neuropathy, or DPN, and fibromyalgia. Below is a brief overview video of diabetic neuropathy. Source: Clearly Health. Aptinyx is advancing a pipeline of product candidates created from the company's NMDAR modulator discovery platform. According to the S1 statement, the discovery platform is based on extensive original research into a novel way of modulating NMDARs, which are critical to communication between neural cells. The ability of this neural cell communication to adapt and change is known as synaptic plasticity, which plays a key role in learning and memory processes. The following product candidates are included in Aptinyx's discovery platform: NX-2925, NX-783, NX-458AG and 241751. Below is the current status of the firm's drug pipeline. Source: Aptinyx. The company's lead product candidate, NX-2925, enhances synaptic plasticity. This approach is uniquely suited for treating chronic pain. The FDA has granted a fast-track designation for the development of NX-2925 in painful diabetic peripheral neuropathy. NX-2925 is currently being studied in a Phase 2 trial with 300 subjects with painful DPN. In addition, the company is conducting an exploratory efficacy and biomarker study of NX-2925 in subjects with fibromyalgia. Top-line data from these studies are expected in the first half of 2019. NX-2925 was well tolerated by subjects in a Phase 1 study with no adverse drug-related effects. The main factors driving market growth are the growing occurrences of diabetes that is caused by the ever-changing lifestyles and unhealthy dietary patterns and habits of people. Major geographical segments for diabetic neuropathy are Europe, North America, Latin America, the Middle East and Africa, and Asia-Pacific. North America holds a leading share of the market, accounting for 34.9% of the total market in 2016. Major competitive vendors that are developing treatments for diabetic neuropathy include GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, Astellas Pharma, OTCPK, ALPMY, Eli Lilly and Company, LLY, Johnson. IPO details: APTX intends to sell 5.33 million shares of common stock at a midpoint price of $15 per share for gross proceeds of approximately $80 million. Certain of the firm's existing shareholders have indicated an interest in purchasing shares in the aggregate of $30 million at the IPO price. This is typical of life science IPOs in the current market and is a positive signal for public investors. Management plans to use the net proceeds as follows: approximately $15 million to fund our ongoing Phase 2 clinical study of NYX-2925 for the treatment of painful DPN and our ongoing Phase 2 exploratory clinical study of NYX-2925 in subjects with fibromyalgia through completion, approximately $13 million to advance NYX-783 for the treatment of PTSD through completion of Phase 1 clinical development and through completion of our planned Phase 2 clinical study, approximately $30 million to advance NYX-458 for the treatment of Parkinson's disease cognitive impairment through completion of our planned Phase 1 clinical development and into our planned Phase 2 clinical study, and the remainder, if any, to fund clinical studies designed to explore NMDAR-dependent biomarkers, to further develop any additional product candidates that we select, and for working capital and other general corporate purposes, which will include expanding our internal research and development capabilities, hiring of additional personnel, capital expenditures and the costs of operating as a public company. Management's presentation of the company roadshow is available here. Listed bookrunners of the IPO are JP Morgan, Cowen, Leerink Partners, and BMO Capital Markets. Expected IPO pricing date, June 20, 2018. Disclosure: we have no positions in any stocks mentioned, and no plans to initiate any positions within the next 72 hours. I wrote this article myself, and it expresses my own opinions. I am not receiving compensation for it, other than from Seeking Alpha. I have no business relationship with any company whose stock is mentioned in this article. Editor's note: this article covers one or more stocks trading at less than $1 per share and/or with less than a $100 million market cap. Please be aware of the risks associated with these stocks.